Hello, we're back.
Howdy.
This is what happens when you think you're done with videos for the weekend and you're sorting through KMs.
But this is all your fault.
Well, yeah, it's
See,
my fault.
That's right, because I came in from outside wanting to, turn on the boob tube and watch a little TV, and she comes out of the office with this Kingdom Ministry right here. November 1975. And she's got this article opened up. Who really is irreprehensible?
So I'm thinking, elders, yeah, that'll get them going.
I'll bet you thought you found a real gem in that, huh?
Obviously not.
No, because the thing that I enjoyed the most about being one of Jehovah's Witnesses in these KMs was always the little question box, because that's where you find what the organization is really up to.
And that never woke you up in all the years you were JW.
No, it did not. It did not, because I was still a bottom feeder. November 1975, question box. The Man's Salvation Book, page 208, paragraph 8. Now remember, this was widely distributed amongst the public, and we'll show figures here in a minute.
Study book.
Yes.
And it's from 1975 also.
Yes. Okay, page 208, paragraph 8. And I'm going to read this first before I read more of the question from the question box. It is the fake kingdom of the heavens, the counterfeit, namely Christendom, that is filled with these symbolic birds, the sons of the wicked one. Today, it is big enough to hold them all. In the parable, the man that sowed the mustard grain pictures the wicked one, Satan the devil. I'm going to end it right there.
Well, even in the paragraph above there, it said that the mustard tree would picture the agents of the wicked one, Satan the devil.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, we want Jehovah's Witnesses to keep in mind that your organization is directed by God's Holy Spirit.
So they claim.
You have the faithful and discreet slave providing food at the proper time.
And they can't handle it all at once, so Jehovah's Spirit has to give it to them a little bit at a time.
That's exactly right.
But in the same year?
In the same year.
They got to change it?
Yeah, well, I think they get the recipe wrong when they printed the book. Because, goes on, and the October 1st, 1975, Watchtower. Okay, in the October 1st, 1975, Watchtower presents different explanation as to who is represented by the man that planted the mustard grain. Now keep in mind, they said Satan was the one that planted the mustard grain.
Well, what's interesting is when you flip the book over, I happen to notice this. It says this chapter is wrong and needs to be corrected. October Watchtower.
Wow. Page 600.
They wrote that right in the margin.
Paragraph 22. Jesus Christ, with his prophetic foresight, could foreknow the outcome for the symbolic mustard grain that he planted in the first century.
So it was Jesus that planted the mustard seed.
So it was Jesus that planted the mustard seed. Now, it's interesting to know, as we mentioned, this was first printed in 1972. Right?
Yep.
No, I take that back. No, this is quoting someone else.
No, that's quoting the Bible in Living English. So
Okay.
this is a 1975 book, because that's when the copyright is.
Yeah, because there's a copyright 1975. First edition, 2,500,000 copies. There are 2,500,000 copies of these with a mistake. How much did that cost you, Watchtower? How many board of directors, how many investors did you piss off with this one? That's what happens when you leave a monkey at the typewriter.
Well, even if they charged $1 a piece for this book, that's $2.5 million.
Just pissed right down the toilet. My goodness. Now, I have another question. How many of these books in one of your preaching campaigns, how many of those books did you place in the door-to-door work that did not get the memo that you made a mistake? Idiots.
Oh, just think. Someone probably took that at the door and read that and said, wait a minute, they're not right about this. I'll never talk to witnesses again. They're wrong.
They're wrong. How many books are still in the hands of the public that have made notes? Wait a minute. The man that planted the mustard grain that grew into the safe place for birds of heaven became a lodging place. See, what Watchtower didn't realize in all of their benevolent wisdom,
Manufactured ignorance?
Manufactured ignorance, but it really goes much deeper than that, because apparently that monkey at the typewriter was not in touch with the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit must have been on vacation the day that monkey started printing all of this. Because what Watchtower did is they took Matthew chapter 13 and they combined two illustrations in the one, when they're truly, in fact, two separate illustrations. That's exactly what these monkeys' asses did. Yeah. And then they print 2,500,000
And that was the first edition.
Yeah, that was
How many editions after that did they do with that mistake in?
Well, yeah, because as the question box goes on, it says that from this point forward, they're going to reprint these books with the proper information. Wow.
And we've got 3 copies of this book, and all of them say Satan the devil.
Yeah. Now, the question comes to be, logically, if you were the CEO of a huge major corporation and you made a mistake that cost you, millions of dollars, wouldn't you kick their ass out of that office and get a new CEO? I sure as hell would. But oh no, not Jehovah. Jehovah's going to keep these erroneous people. My goodness. Okay. Matthew chapter 13.
And God chose them out of all of the religions of the earth.
Well, didn't you get that memo? I got it.
Oh yeah, I've been hearing that. I've been hearing that my whole life. I got that memo.
Oh yeah. God's Holy Spirit chose them. Although actually Jesus chose them. Remember, because it was Jesus that made Jesus Christ. You made a mistake. Do you hear how ridiculous this becomes, Watchtower, when you think that you're God's chosen people? When you think that you have God's Holy Spirit directing your organization? Do you hear how ridiculous it is when you say now you have the faithful and discreet slave providing food at the proper time? What a joke. You got a better chance of getting struck by lightning than getting all of this shit right. All right, Matthew chapter 13, paragraph 24, verse 24. Another illustration he set before them, saying, the kingdom of the heavens has become like a man that sowed fine seed in his field. While men were sleeping, his enemies came and oversowed weeds in among the wheat and left. Well, that man that came in and sowed the weeds would certainly be Satan.
Yeah, in this illustration it is.
When the blade sprouted and produced fruit, then the weeds appeared also. So the slaves of the household came up and said to him, Master, did you not sow fine seed in your field? How then does it come to have weeds? He said to them, an enemy, that would be Satan, a man did this. Oh, wait a minute, a man would choke off true Christianity. Isn't that what Watchtower does? Aren't they choking off true Christianity by manufacturing lies and doing ellipses? Man of lawlessness, the evil slave? Yeah. They said to him, do you want us then to go out and collect them? He said, no. That by no chance, while collecting the weeds, you uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the harvest season I will tell the reapers, first collect the weeds and bind them in bundles to burn them up. Then go then go to gathering the wheat into my storehouse. Jesus Christ ended that illustration of the wheat in the weeds. Verse 31, he goes on and says, another illustration.
So it has nothing to do with the one
It has nothing to do with identifying Satan now. Because he goes on and looks at the kingdom of the heaven. Well, I'll just read it. Another illustration he set before them, saying, the kingdom of the heavens is like a mustard grain. It would start very, very small, which a man took and planted in his field, which is in fact the tiniest of all the seeds. But when it has grown, it is the largest of the vegetables and becomes a tree, so that the birds of heaven come and find lodging among its branches. Verse 33, another illustration, the kingdom of... Okay, this is exactly what Watchtower...
illustrations.
Yeah, this is exactly what Watchtower did. They took the first illustration of the evil man coming in and sowing the weeds in amongst the wheat. Jesus said, let them grow together in the time of the harvest. We're going to bundle up the weeds, and we're going to burn them. But the kingdom of the heavens will also become like the mustard grain when planted. Grows into this huge tree, and it becomes a place of safety for the birds of the heavens. Now, isn't it true for all of us that have left the Watchtower Bible Tract Society that we have readily identified Watchtower as one of these weeds that choke the living life out of us? Don't go get educated, because this system ain't going to last long enough for you to use that education. And now for a vast majority of us who are pushing 50, 60, 70, we don't have any retirement because Watchtower choked that all away from us by feeding us a lie that this system's going to end. Okay? Many of us have limited our family to 1 or 2 children because, well, after all, why would you want to raise a dozen kids in this wicked system of things? Choke the life out of a family. Look at the depression that many of us faced while inside this religion that,
and some still do.
Ultimately, isn't Watchtower presenting itself as the picture of the mustard grain? After all, this little whole idea of Jesus, looking for them, looking through all the religions and planting the Watchtower Babel Crap Society. And, Watchtower still claims we're the fastest growing religion on earth. If you want to survive this system, you got to come to this tree that's identified as the Watchtower Bible Crap Society. Excuse me, I'm mimicking them. So Watchtower has painted themselves as the picture of this tree, because they picture themselves as being a place of true spirituality, true Christian identity. They claim they are providing a safe place out of this wicked system of things. I mean, after all, if you suffer from depression or anything like that, all you have to do is pray more, go out and service more. Does that really fix the problem? No, it doesn't. It just really compounds the problem.
Well, they just showed that elder training video to the congregations of the suicidal sister. Read her a few scriptures and then she'll be so happy she'll go make you cookies.
Bake a few cookies and the problem solved.
Yeah. Oh, and don't forget, chant psalms.
That's right. You got to chant psalms. Here's the thing, Jehovah's Witnesses. The organization that you think is this big tree of safety isn't. You have to identify the true mustard tree, if you want to even call it a mustard tree. Those of us that have left this organization, we will readily say that we were being choked to death. There were many things that we could not do. We leave the organization, and for those of us that wish to re-identify with Christ and or try to figure some of this out, we begin to realize that that kingdom of the heavens is a true place of haven. It's just like those birds that roost. Turkeys, at the end of the day, find a big tree and they roost in that tree. It becomes a safe haven for them from ground predators. Watchtower is the ground predator. Many of us have found lodging in the top of the tree and away from Watchtower's influence and away from them being able to continue to choke the life out of us. Now, where we all stand now, we can go get educated, can't we? We can go get a degree. Some of us might even take that high-paying, lucrative job in a military installation. Some of us may even now decide, you know what, let's increase our family. We've got nothing to be afraid of. And for a lot of us, this kingdom of the heavens has become an absolute safe place of dwelling. Because we don't have to worry about going to a movie that's not quite Christian. Those decisions are now left up to us and not somebody that's trying to choke the life out of all of us. So yeah, Watchtower, you keep printing the crap. You keep coming out with your question boxes. You keep correcting the errors that are choking the life out of everybody.
Well, to come to think of it, I don't remember a question box in the last KM I looked at.
Well, it's been a little while since I looked at a KM. Maybe they just ran out of questions. But there again, 2,500,000 mistakes. Thank you, Holy Spirit.
Well, thank you for watching, and we hope you all have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.